Hi, this is Derek Overstreet, president of the New Millennium Group and co-host of Stop Working, Start Living with KSL News Radio. Can you imagine what your life would be like if you could retire 3 to 5 years earlier than you thought possible? The things you could do, the loved ones you could spend time with, the memories that you could create. That's what our team at the New Millennium Group does. We'll walk you through the entire process every step of the way. If you'd like to get a copy of the 5-step proprietary plan that will help you retire 3 to 5 years sooner than you thought possible, give us a shout right now. 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com. Listen, most of our listeners right now have a tax problem, not a money problem. There's not enough money in Social Security Medicare as it is. Let us show you how you can significantly reduce your taxes. That's 888-999-6370, 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com.
If you don't care about saving 50% off your wireless bill for the same 5G coverage the big guys are charging a fortune for, maybe you care about keeping jobs in America. Pure Talk does. They've pledged to run their entire operation from this country, including all their customer service. Or maybe you care about our nation's veterans. Pure Talk does. They've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to America's Warrior Partnership, a fantastic organization working hard to prevent veteran suicide. Or maybe you care about closing America's skills gap. Pure Talk does. They're a proud supporter of MicroWorks. They're helping my foundation train the next generation of skilled workers. Don't get me wrong. Saving money's great, and you'll save plenty with Pure Talk. But if you want to be in business with people who share your values, dial pound 250. Say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
The KSL Sports Zone is your home for live local sports. Tonight, the Utah Mammoth are in L.A. to play the Kings. The game gets underway at 7 o'clock on 1280 The Zone. Big game in the playoff race in the Western Conference. The Utah Jazz are in Phoenix playing the Suns at 8 o'clock. Listen on 97.5 The Zone. And the Salt Lake Bees are in Las Vegas. You can listen to the game at 8 o'clock on 102.7 HD2. And if you want to hear your company's name right here, email Stephanie Palmer at spalmer@ksl.com and join the winning team at the KSL Sports Zone.
Take your golf game to the next level. Introducing the Rev Tour, a new competitive league for amateur golfers of all skill levels. It's fair, competitive, flighted league play built for everyone who loves the game. Starting with leagues in northern and southern Utah. Then local regionals advance to Las Vegas for 2026 to punch your ticket to the Nationals. All regional winners will be able to play at Pebble Beach with deep discounts. Sign up now at golfrevtour.com and get $50 off April using promo code REV1280. GolfRevTour.com, promo code REV1280.
Whirls around and down.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone is your exclusive home of the Utah Jazz. And we want to send you to the Delta Center to see the Jazz in action. Listen every Tuesday for the Jazz Ticket Tuesday Sounder at 30 past the hour, every hour, all day long. And if you're caller number 12, you'll be on your way to an upcoming game.
Buy one, you'll get one free.
It's Jazz Ticket Tuesday, every Tuesday throughout the NBA season on your radio home for the Utah Jazz. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. 97.5 KZNS FM Colville, 1280 KZNS AM Salt Lake City, and KSL FM HD2 Salt Lake City Midvale. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back.
Yeah, man, how you doing? You good? I know you like that. I know you like that. How long you been back, man? I see the girls in the club, they getting wild for me. And all the pretty chicks all wanna smile at me. These rap cats, man, they all got this.
Welcome back to the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Annapolis, thank you for making us a part of your Saturday morning. Alex, we were off last week because of the NCAA tournament, so it's good to be back in the chairs, cracking the mics open.
It is good to be back.
It's been a little hit and miss for us
man.
over the past couple of months.
We might be a little rusty here today, but that's no problem because there's plenty to talk about. You have the Jazz last night playing a nail-biter with the Denver Nuggets. You have plenty of March Madness action that happened over the course of the last 2 days and more coming up later tonight. And then there's plenty to talk about locally as far as the teams that you guys care about. And we're going to break all that down.
It's been a fun week. Long week, fun week. The NBA season is winding down. Just a few games left for the Jazz, and same with the Utah Mammoth, right? And with the Mammoth, we've got playoffs right around the corner. Presumably, that's hoping they don't continue to slide.
They're
back-to-back losses for the Mammoth. They still hold that top wild card spot, and we'll get into that later. They got a big game coming up against the Kings today. So you'd like to think we've got playoff hockey in Salt Lake City coming up soon. And there was some contention. I don't know if you saw any of that on social media regarding the pricing of the playoff tickets.
I did see that.
So we will get into all of that. But yeah, Alex, I think you make a good point. We will start with the Jazz because they lost to the Nuggets 135 to 129 last night. The Denver Nuggets. It was in Denver. This was a crazy game because this game was tied at half. What was it? I think it was like 62-62 at half.
Yes, that's right.
To start the third, the Jazz took the early lead, and they led the entire game, or the entire second half, until 2 minutes and 55 seconds left in the fourth quarter. The Nuggets finally overcame Bez Mbang and Elijah Harkless, and who else? The Jazz, Oscar Tshiebwe,
Kennedy
Chandler, the GOAT. All of this crazy stuff, and it's going around social media as it always does, right? I think it was Bez Mbang. He finished with 19 minutes on the night. He played the entire 12th quarter, entire 12 minutes of the fourth quarter.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
These shenanigans, they pull flip. You didn't see him late because he was having too good of a game. 25 points. Cody Williams had an amazing night. 24 points for the young kid there, and they get pulled because ultimately the Jazz need to lose this game. But the funny part, Alex, is the Jazz are not the only team that did this last night. I don't know if you saw some of the other scores from around the NBA. The Mavericks actually beat the Trailblazers. The Mavericks, a tanking team. So that win helps the Jazz out a ton there, actually. The Wizards were in a close one against the Warriors. The Wizards still lost 131 to 126. A really egregious one. This one was hilarious. Clippers-Pacers. Kawhi nails the buzzer beater, the go-ahead shot, with like 0.4 seconds left on the clock. You think it's a Clippers victory. And then there's a foul, and the Pacers go to the free throw line. The Pacers have a chance to win the game with free throws, and the dude missed both of them.
Yep. That's how you do
it. He had a chance to win the game with free throws with 0.4 seconds left, and he misses both of them. Conveniently, that keeps the Pacers with one of the worst records in the NBA. So it's just a funny night in the NBA last night. And, of course, what makes it so ironic is that yesterday is when all the anti-tanking proposals came out.
Right. I think in this one for the Jazz, man, there was moments in the third quarter where you're up by 10, and I think Ben tweeted it perfectly. Like, are the Denver Nuggets aware that they need to win this game? Because at times, like, it seemed the Jazz battled them hard. The Jazz battled them well. It was amazing to see Kyle Filipowski go for 25. Cody Williams, like you mentioned, had a phenomenal game. There was a lot of the young guys continue to show steps and continue to show really great things that I think Jazz fans can kind of hold on to and look to the future and say that there's going to be some pretty good solid rotation guys on that bench. When you look at guys like Flip, like Sensabaugh, like Williams. And it's even more so great to see someone like Cody Williams come around, because there was genuine concern whether or not Cody Williams was going to be.
People were straight up mean to him last year. Like, calling him the worst rookie ever.
Right.
Like, take it easy on this dude.
It takes time, man, and I think Cody Williams is a perfect example of that. It takes time, and now that we're seeing these type of performances, obviously there's still room to grow. Obviously there's still things for him to figure out, but it is nice to see Cody Williams kind of start to come around, and you can see that there is potential there for Cody.
I'm with you, because at the end of the day, what was Cody, 9th or 10th, right? Like, ideally you'd like to draft somebody with all-star potential. You could say that about any slot in the first round. You want all-star potential with that pick, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's a coin flip of whether that dude's going to stick around in the NBA or not. And I'm not even talking all-star potential. I'm just talking about, being a good enough NBA player to stick on a roster. So if you can have a 9th overall pick and just say, I don't care what his ceiling is, just guarantee me that he's going to be a solid rotation guy at the very minimum, I think some teams would take that. Obviously, in the Jazz situation where they do have the star power in Lauri Markkanen, they just traded for Tripp, and it's looking like Keontae George is on the way there. Ace Bailey certainly has that potential as well. You do have a little bit more leeway with those other draft selections, right? So, I mean, it's not like they're burning these draft picks on fire, man. I think they've done a really good job drafting ever since this rebuild started, because you look at, obviously, Rudy and Donovan were traded after that 22 draft. So you look at 23, 24, 25, and then this year the 26 draft. That's 4 drafts. And, I mean, there's been a couple, quote-unquote, I don't even want to call them misses. Like, I don't think they've straight up missed on any of these picks. Taylor Hendricks, they were able to include him in a trade package to go get an all-pro or all-NBA level player. So it's like, I wouldn't even count that as a miss. And Cody, I mean, the jury's still out on him, but he's definitely taken jumps in his second year. And like Bryce Sensabaugh, his role is there as a bench scorer. And what more could you ask for from the 28th overall pick? So I think the drafting has been really, really good over the last 3 drafts for the Jazz. And credit Ainge, credit Jay-Z, man. Those guys have done a really, really good job. And I mean, that's why they were brought in, right? That's their calling card, is these guys can identify the talent. So I'm with you.
Absolutely. You identify that talent, you bring them in, and then it's great to see these guys develop, and it's great to see these guys have that potential to contribute to a winning Jazz team, because I think everybody is excited about the thought of Walker Kessler, Jaren Jackson Jr., Lauri Markkanen, whoever you have at that 2 spot, and then obviously Keontae George. And I think there's a lot of excitement of what potentially could be the Jazz next season. But to win in this league, you need to have that bench scoring. You need to have that depth. You need to have a great rotation players. And I think you are starting to see the evolution of some of these young guys who can really be massive contributors to a winning Jazz team.
Well, and it's funny because I don't know whether this was an instance of, I mean, let's call it like it is. If the Jazz and Nuggets play 10 times this season, how many of them are going to be this close, right?
Right.
And I do want to be honest and say that, yeah, if the Jazz if the Nuggets are welcoming the Jazz into town, you probably don't really wake up for that game. Like, we can roll out of bed and win this thing, right? And then you get into action and they realize they still do have to play, because there are some NBA players on the Jazz, right? And the Nuggets, for as good as they are, you can't just sleepwalk through anything. And Jokic put up a pretty good stat line, right? 33 points, 15 rebounds, and 12 assists. But he also had 7 turnovers. This was just a lazy game by the Denver Nuggets, and that's why it was so close. But on the flip side, Alex, I'm not going to lie to you, I get really excited when I see this group of Jazz players pushing an NBA contender all 4 quarters, and you're not even seeing Lauri Markkanen. You're not even seeing Keontae George. You're not even seeing Jaren Jackson Jr. Like, if this group of Jazz guys can play this good against the Denver Nuggets, that makes me really excited for next year.
Something may be cooking. Something may be cooking.
Oh, man. It's just, dude, I'm just thinking of a guy like wandering through the desert for 4 years.
Right.
And he's just now getting to the horizon, and he's like, I can see a city. I can see a way out, and we're almost there. I just got to walk, this last couple miles.
There's a light at the end of the tunnel, man.
The light is so bright.
And it's very, very bright. It's very, very bright. And I think there was moments last night where I'm watching that game and I'm watching the Denver Nuggets defensive performance, and there was moments where it was really lackadaisical.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if there was a little bit of this is just the Jazz.
Yeah.
We can put in 60% effort
right.
and call it good. I'm sure once you have you line up against this Denver team and you have a Jaren Jackson Jr., you have Lowry, etc. I'm sure that the Nuggets will be maybe a little bit less lackadaisical, but regardless, nevertheless, right? I think the Jazz and the Denver Nuggets series next year can be intriguing.
Well, I mean, intriguing is like it's more than intriguing. I'm sitting here on the edge of my seat because we're talking about a team that's built not only to contend next year, but for, 5 to 10 years after that. And especially if they can nail whoever they draft in this year's draft. Like if they can nail that prospect plus Ace Bailey plus Keontae George almost gives the Jazz two different timelines to play with, because you've got Tripp and Lowry who are in their late 20s and they're in their primes and ready to win now. But then you've got the youngsters with the extremely high ceiling, and they're ready to carry you into the next generation. So,
absolutely.
I do want to play this as long as we're talking about the Nuggets struggling to play with the Jazz. There was a very funny moment in the radio broadcast last night. There was like I mentioned, the game was in Denver, right? There was a Denver Nuggets fan whose comments were picked up by the radio broadcast.
Uh-oh.
Very frustrated that the Nuggets were struggling with this Jazz team. Let's play that.
Cody driving on Jokic. Flares to the corner. It's Chandler for three, and it's good. Kennedy Chandler from the right corner. 14 for... And another guy yells from the crowd, "Come on, Nuggets, you're losing to Utah!"
Nice.
Oh, man, that's how you know you're doing something right.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But that's what I'm talking about. Like, Kennedy Chandler, who is this guy? He's a 10-day guy, and Bez and Bang and like Elijah Harkless and all these guys are coming in on 10-day contracts, and they are pushing this Jazz team all 4 quarters with the Nuggets. And it was a very fun game, literally from the start, right? And it was tied at halftime, and you've got this squad of just absolute dogs out there playing for their careers, like auditioning to all 29 other NBA teams saying, hey, I'm worth a roster spot, whether it's here in Salt Lake City or not. And these guys are putting it all out on the line, and then you've got, come on, Nuggets, you're losing to Utah. I love it.
Oh, man. And it's a conversation we've had in the past. It's a conversation that you've brought up before on the show, and it's players don't tank, right? Because you have Oscar Tshiebwe, you have Kennedy Chandler, Bez and Bang. This is their audition. This is their opportunity to go out there, put some tape out, and say, hey, I do belong in this league, whether it be with the Jazz, whether it be somewhere else. This is their audition to potentially make an NBA roster heading into next season. One guy that really stuck out to me, though, last night, Christian, was John Conchar. He was one of the guys that came over with the Jaren Jackson trade, and he's bringing some fun play, some interesting play, I think, on both sides of the ball.
30 minutes for the Conch. 8 of 10 shooting is actually crazy, right?
Yeah.
He finished with 16 points, so all 8 of his shots, all 8 of his makes were 2-point attempts. He shot 1 3-pointer. He did miss it. But, Alex, he also brought down 8 rebounds. He found 2 assists. He had 1 steal and 2 blocks, but those numbers don't illustrate everything he does on the defensive. And he is just so pesky. I mean, he is...
Yeah, that's what stands out. Is what he brings on the defensive side specifically.
He is so frustrating to go against because, again, you talk about guys playing for their jobs right now. I mean, if John Conchar is out there for 30 minutes, he is going to be giving 110% for all 30 of those minutes. And I'm talking like, you go play 5-on-5 pickup ball on a Saturday morning. He's the try-hard guy out there. He's the try-hard guy who's like, oh, I didn't make it in high school. I could have played college if I wanted, but I was good in high school. I just didn't want to play college ball. Like that guy who you hate to go against because he's just always, you think of the defensive stance and he's like shuffling his feet and getting in your way and hitting all the balls out of bounds. That's John Conchar, man. And you need that. I used this term earlier to talk about these guys, but it's just a dog. Like it's a guy who puts the team above himself in the sense that he's not out there saying, I'm a star, I got to play my game because I have a reputation to hold up. My job is on the line with this game. Yeah. I need to show that I'm willing to do whatever it takes to help this Jazz team win the game. And although they didn't win last night and they haven't been winning this season, they're playing close games.
Right.
And they're still in it late in part because of the efforts of guys like this. So you're totally right talking about filling out that bench next year and what that rotation group is going to look like. I mean, if you've got, your starting 5 and then your 10 reserves are made up of 10 John Conchars, I mean, that is a heck of a depth rotation
absolutely.
As far as dudes that are just going to come in and give the other team fits.
And if you want to make that deep run in the playoffs, if you want to make that deep run to potentially go compete for a Western Conference championship, to potentially go compete for an NBA championship, you need to have that. You need to have guys you need to have 6 or 7 John Contras on your bench, and you can potentially get that in some of these young guys, man. We'll see, but there is a lot of, I know they're 21 and 53, man, but I think from where the Jazz were a year ago to today, as we're sitting here watching this, we know the assignment, we know they're losing games, but I've honestly been uber impressed with everything that we've seen from the young guys and everything we've seen from the guys coming in through the injuries and playing through. Even some of the 10-day guys have been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who Conchar reminds me of a little bit?
Who's that?
You remember when the Cavs won the title, won the finals? Would that have been 18, I guess? But Matthew Dellavedova, you remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Play style's not super similar, right? But the big thing in that finals run was there were several loose balls on the ground. And Dellavedova went almost viral, I guess, for just diving on all these loose balls and throwing his life on the line. No regard for what's going to happen to his knees, getting scraped up on that floor. And he's just hustle player, keeping the Cavs alive by making all these hustle plays. And that's exactly what I see when I see John Conchar, and I'm not talking about offensive play style. I don't care about getting into that, but just guys that,
just about the effort.
Dude, when they're on the floor,
just about the effort and doing everything you can to make sure that you're in a position to help this team win.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So I do mention the funny thing yesterday with all these tanking teams that were in close games and then they do end up losing. The Wizards, by the way, the Jazz are not the only team that were pulling all their starters. The Wizards did the exact same thing late against the Warriors, which is funny because the Warriors are also tanking, right? But the Wizards, you did not see Bub Carrington or Bilal Coulibaly down late. I mean, everybody's doing the same thing that the Jazz are doing.
Absolutely.
And notice nobody has been fined for it since the Jazz have. So whatever. But I mentioned the ironic thing is yesterday, Adam Silver through ESPN released the 3 anti-tanking measures that are going to be voted on potentially this offseason. And he did mention that they were still going to be tweaked. None of these proposals were final, but
going back to a conversation that we had a little bit ago, where we talked about how it's not just an anti-tanking issue, it's a lottery issue.
Exactly.
These ones are more geared towards the lottery. Now, having read them and having gone through them, I don't necessarily know if the options that were presented by Shams yesterday, I don't know. You tell me what you think, Christian. But one option is an 18-team lottery that would include the 7 through 15 seeds in both conferences with flat odds of 8%.
Horrible.
With the teams for the teams with the 10 worst records, right? So the 10 teams would have 8% chance of winning the lottery rather than just rather than the top 4. Option B is a 22-team lottery. Remember this one? I don't even want to go into it even further. As soon as I read that, I automatically moved on, because why are we letting playoff teams be in the lottery? It makes no sense to me. No sense to me. You're allowing mid teams who made the playoffs have a chance at the number 1 overall pick. Now, the caveat to the 22-team lottery is it would be like the WNBA, where you have cumulative records over a 2-year period.
Okay.
So that kind of adds a little wrinkle to it that maybe it could work. Maybe it could be something, but also, if you have less than 25 wins, you'll automatically be scribbled in with 25 wins to kind of keep the playing field even.
It's a terrible idea, because what keeps you, you hit that 25 win mark and then you just lose every game after that.
Right.
Where the Jazz are at 21 wins right now. So you're telling me an extra 4 wins would satisfy Mr. Silver.
If the Jazz was out for the rest of the season under this option B, they would ultimately, as far as the lottery odds go, for the purposes of the lottery, they would have 25 wins on record.
Well, the NBA's argument for that would be, okay, you are given a minimum of 25 wins in this system anyway, so you might as well try to win at least 25 games. The Jazz have only 21 wins this year, and they've been playing they've been having these shenanigans.
Yeah.
So what's an extra 4 wins over the course of, this season going to actually matter towards, that was real quality basketball that we saw. So that's all of these ideas are terrible, right?
Yeah.
So what's the third one?
And then there is an option C, where, again, it is an 18-team lottery that includes the 7 through 15 seeds from both conferences with flat odds for the teams with the 5 worst records. But essentially, there would be 2 lotteries.
Yeah.
The first one would determine the top 5 picks.
Okay.
The second one would determine the 13 picks that follow. Again, I don't know if that necessarily is your solution.
Okay, let me tell you. So when the Jazz got fined and everybody was giving their hot takes on how to fix tanking and fix the draft and fix the lottery, I came out and I said, okay, I want at least 2 things you got to keep in mind when fixing whatever, right? The whole point, if you're going to do a draft, right, because not every professional league has a draft. You see European soccer, right? They don't have a draft.
No.
And they still make it work. So if you're going to do a draft, the whole point is to give the bad teams an avenue to get better. And you really got to keep that in mind if you're going to do it this way, if you're going to do a draft. And I think that gets lost in this lottery system. If you're going to give the top or the bottom, 8 or 10 teams all equal odds at getting the top seed in the draft, how are you ever supposed to get better if you are organically a bad team? Like if you are just a terribly run franchise, how are you ever supposed to get better if you keep getting the 10th overall pick, right? And you're just inevitably going to have bad luck like that, and that's going to happen. So you got to keep that in mind. I'm not saying that that's all you should think about because clearly things do need to be fixed. So that leads me to my second point when throwing out ideas for this, and that's I don't need a rule book manual to understand how this draft and lottery is going to work. I don't need how many words is this freaking article that ESPN put out yesterday? Like, I don't need to sit there and read and do my homework
to figure out what's going to happen on lottery night.
Do you remember the NBA's big problem last year? One of the big storylines was that they were losing viewers and the viewership numbers were tanking. And It was a big problem last year. It was a big narrative and big storyline was how can the NBA keep its viewers and why are people not watching the NBA as much anymore. And it's things like this that just way overcomplicate things. You take a random guy off the street who just wants to be a casual Jazz fan in passing. You don't want to have to explain to him why the Jazz finished with, the 3rd worst record in the NBA. You'd think you'd be the 3rd overall pick. No, actually, because of the 5x5 lottery system, they fell to pick number 9 because they had this percent odds. That's so ridiculous.
Or because of option B and what potentially could be a 22-team lottery, you have the 3rd worst record, but it doesn't matter because it's a cumulative over a 2-year record. If you went, if you had 40 wins the last season, and then for some reason, similar to a Pacers situation like the next year, it doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't matter because it's over a 2-year. It's over a 2-year period.
I think part of this is it's a multifaceted issue, right? It's not just clearly the way that the lottery and draft is set up right now is a flawed system. No matter what happens, there are always going to be flaws in whatever system you're doing, and teams are going to exploit however they can to rig things in their favor, right?
Yep.
So it's not just a NBA draft and NBA lottery problem. It's also an NBA on-court problem. And I think that part needs to be addressed as well. I think the simplest solution, if you're talking about fixing the draft and fixing tanking, you just take away the stupid lottery, right? Just do it based on the standings. Worst team gets the number 1 pick and go from there. You're always going to have bad teams. You're always going to have teams that add a couple extra losses because they want a better draft pick.
Yeah.
Who cares? Fix the on-court product. I'm sick of watching Shai Gilgeous-Alexander shoot 20 free throws a game and hooking everybody's arms because that's supposed to be basketball right now. That's not what the good Dr. Basketball Neesmith envisioned when he created this beautiful game. No. Fix the on-court product first and worry about, I mean, this draft will sort itself out. Like, really.
I think too, man, if you just go straight, if you just forego the lottery, you go straight, worst team gets the number 1, second worst gets the number 2, and just have a straight draft like that, I feel like you'll have I feel like eventually you will get to a point where there is less tanking because the chances of you getting a franchise-changing player in those top picks, it changes franchises. It can change. It can allow someone like the Wizards to stop tanking after a year or two, and that's how a way you can prevent tanking.
Yeah,
allow the bad teams to get the best talent.
That's what they need, and that's the whole point of the draft. Now, it's a completely different conversation. If you want to figure out a different way to bring college talent into the NBA and get rid of the draft and do something else, I'd be open to conversations. But, all of the, what do they call it? The Big 5 leagues in America, whatever, they all have a draft, right? So why would you do something different just because?
Right.
Again, it's you pluck a random guy off the street and it's like, that's what everybody else does. Why would you complicate things just to be different?
I think though, the good news for Jazz fans is that these roles and everything is changing now, where you could potentially turn a corner where you are no longer having to worry about your lottery picks.
Yeah, ideally, for now. You never know what's going to happen 10 years from now or 15 years from now. And hopefully, once you get that ball rolling, you can continue the success and parlay that. But people are always, you never know. I mean, Indiana was in the finals last year, and now all of a sudden they're rebuilding. So you never know what teams are going to want to do. But I'm so sick of all of this. And I do think that Adam Silver put out the most, I don't even want to call it uncreative proposals yesterday because they were so wordy and so creative. Like, dude, just chill out a little bit. Just, you know what this was? This was a group of, you think of a bunch of white-collar dudes sitting at a table that have never touched a basketball in their life.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how can we fix this? Oh, the data says, and the statistics say that this would be the best way to do it. And it's like, dude, stop overcomplicating things.
Yeah, and let's not forget Adam Silver trying to give himself more power by trying to impose as well more punishments for teams tanking.
Yeah.
As in taking away, potentially, right, it still needs to be talked about, it still needs to be voted on, but there is a proposal out there as far as harsher penalties go for tanking and for being involved in tanking, which can potentially lead into you losing your first-round pick or moving back.
We'll see, man.
So that Adam Silver essentially is putting a proposal out, though, that will give him more power to control the draft the way that he wants to control it.
That sounds like the plot of Star Wars. That's how Emperor Palpatine rose to power.
There you go, man.
Shout out Connor watching on YouTube. He says, good morning, boys.
Good morning, Connor.
Hi, Connor. Thanks for watching, man. There is always a YouTube chat up. I know it's hard when we don't have a show every Saturday to stay consistent with that. Always appreciate people dropping comments and dropping in, leaving thoughts. So let us know your thoughts on these stupid anti-tanking proposals. Let us know how you would fix the lottery. Let us know what you think of Adam Silver. Let us know what you think of the Jazz. Or you can always use the call-in feature on the KSL Sports app. We appreciate that as well. We're going to take a break. Coming up next, Alex, I got into it with some Cincinnati fans over the weekend, or over the week.
Yep.
I want to get into this. I've been looking forward to it all week. We'll get to that next. Stick with us. It's the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
The point with Utah State, where do they go now? Do they go with another mercenary coach that's going to be gone in 2 years if you're having any sort of success? Which, by the way, is fine.
Absolutely.
It is fine if that is your jam, which has been successful for Utah State. Like, other schools aren't coming to get your coaches if your teams are not playing well. And if you're a young and up-and-coming coach, you've got to know you can win in Logan. You can go to Logan, and it can be your ticket to a better job.
The business end of it, he has to pay a $3.9 million buyout. That's a ton of money for Utah State. Like, that pays for the coach's first year and $2 million in NIL money, which is a lot at Utah State.
Well, hey, Mason Foslev, go buy a house, bro.
Yeah, but honestly, like, it's going to allow you to keep your top player and hire your next coach.
Catch Jake and Ben weekdays from 10 to noon on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Spring is calling, and we're not sending it to voicemail. I bet you're thinking about heading south this spring, but what if you tried something different, like Cedar City and Bryan had? With gas prices going up, this is the kind of trip that gives you more vacation for the tank you're already on. Start with 3 Peaks OHV trails that say, go ahead, take the scenic route, then cool it down with disc golf. Because yes, you can be competitive and outdoorsy at the same time. Next, Thor's Hideout. Legendary hike, epic payoff. And if you want the kind of ride you'll talk about all week, hit the Iron Hills Trail System, now an official recreation trail. Just need to chill? Frontier Homestead Park, Cedar City Veterans Park, or play around at Cedar City Golf Course. Then finish strong with local dining, shopping, and small town charm in the historic downtown of Cedar City and Parowan. Spring is calling. Answer it with a one-tank getaway at visitcedarcity.com.
Did you know GoodRx can help you save on medication, manage prescriptions, and get trusted health information? If you're one of the millions living with a heart condition, check GoodRx for an easier, more affordable way to manage your health. GoodRx offers common heart medications for under $30. Just search for your prescription, find the best price, then show your pharmacist the GoodRx coupon. And it works whether you have insurance or not. To start saving and better manage your heart health, download the free app or visit GoodRx.com today. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Veterans and active duty service members. When your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
The show may be over, but the deals are still on at Paris RV.
How about an easy tow with a 25 Rockwood 190 OTG for only $7,995 or $129 a month? How about some bunks? Hook up to the 26 Heartland Prowler 2500 bunkhouse for only $17,995 or $205 a month. Want to stay put for a while? Then put the 26 Forest River Cherokee Timberwolf 20 OG destination trailer in the spot of your dreams for only $44,995 or $456 a month. Only
at Paris RV.
Paris RV is your locally owned, family-run RV dealership. We strive hard to find the very best RVs for the price. With 4 locations, over 1,000 RVs in stock, 42 service bays, and 4 super parts stores, we're sure to help take your family on the best RV vacation. Check out our perfect family bunkhouse trailer, the 26BH, that sleeps 9 for $19,995 or $227 a month. Zero down. Life is short. Enjoy it. North Murray, South Murray, Payson, and Pocatello. ParisRV.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SPEED to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SPEED for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SPEED for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hey, this is Chris with JCW's. Drop in for one of our delicious gourmet burgers made with 100% choice Grand Chuck. We're in Lehigh, American Fork, Provo, South Jordan, and Harriman. JCW's, quality and a lot of it.
Welcome back to the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napolis. Real quick, if you're looking to get your soccer fix this morning, Utah Royals taking on Boston. It's going on right now, 0-0 in the 29th minute. That's over on 1280 a.m. So appreciate you listening to us. If you're looking for the Utah Royals, that is on the 1280 signal, also streaming on YouTube. Okay, Alex, we had some drama in the state earlier this week. Utah State losing another head coach, Jared Calhoun, going to Cincinnati after losing to Arizona last Sunday. It was crazy. It's almost the exact same thing that happened with Danny Sprinkle. Like, there were rumors that the team was flying home from San Diego. That's where the game was played. Team was flying home from San Diego, and the news broke while the team was on the plane. And so, like, the plane lands and everybody's phone starts going off. Finding out their coach had left.
Yeah.
There were rumors that Calhoun didn't even tell the team, and they found out through social media on the plane like everybody else. I don't know how true all that is. I don't really care. It happened.
Yeah.
And this is not the first time that it's happened for Utah State.
No. And first I think the Aggies deserve a lot of credit. I thought they battled Arizona hard, man.
Dude, they did.
That is the number one team.
It was a heck of a game.
Number one team in the country. Arizona has a really, really big shot of being the national champion. And for the what I think national media would look at as a talent discrepancy or Utah State being a weaker side, I thought they battled them well, man. To be down, what was it, 4 with...
They were down by 3 at one point.
Yeah.
At the under 4 timeout, they were down by 4. It was a 4-point game. Unfortunately, the final is a 12-point loss, right?
Yeah.
But I swear it was way closer than that, right? Like, that is free throws, and that's, end of game shenanigans. But I'll tell you what, Alex, that Arizona team did not feel comfortable at all until that final buzzer went off.
They battle them hard, man, and I knew that after we saw Utah State have such a great performance against Arizona, it kind of felt like that was it for Jared Calhoun.
Well, I mean, it's felt like that. Again, this is nothing new to Utah State fans. They are looking for their 5th basketball coach in 7 years.
Yeah.
You have success in Logan, and bigger programs start calling, and that's what we saw with Craig Smith and Ryan Odom and Danny Sprinkle and Jared Calhoun, and it's what we're going to see with the next guy that comes in, because he's going to win and he's going to put a team in the tournament and they're going to win a game or two, and that's going to look real good on his resume. So
as far as, and I know a lot of people online are, I guess maybe upset's the right word about the way that the rumors came out that he didn't tell the team until they found out on social media and yada yada. I don't know what the reasoning behind it is. I don't know what the thinking behind it was. I think potentially, right, you want to allow the guys to get back to Logan, make sure everybody's together, and then tell the team. But whoever from Cincinnati let it leak.
Yeah.
Ugh. That's tough, man.
So,
that's tough.
So that was Monday.
I don't. It kind of paints Jared Calhoun in a bad picture, right? In a bad look, but I don't think it was meant with any ill intent.
Yeah, I don't. It's he's gone. He's in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I don't care about him anymore.
Right.
and I have a beef with Cincinnati now because they've got a beef with me. So this all happened Monday. He wasn't announced as Cincinnati's head coach until Monday afternoon, right? So Monday morning, there were reports that Cincinnati was pursuing Jared Calhoun. Nothing was official. They were pursuing Calhoun. So I had a tongue-in-cheek tweet, right? I said, I'd really like to know what pros Cincinnati has over Utah State.
Yeah.
And Alex, let me tell you, I woke up all 4 people in Cincinnati, Ohio.
I think you just about made angry the entire state of Ohio.
Well, Cleveland and Cincinnati don't like each other.
That is true.
So
okay,
I've at least got half
of
Ohio mad at me because clearly I didn't recognize, according to them, that they're a Power 4 program, and Power 4 programs are better than mid-major programs and have more money.
Yeah.
Really. I had no idea. Thanks for letting me know, guys. I don't know. They're sitting here talking about historically 12th winningest program of all time, and they've had some really good years, yada, yada, yada. Look, I'm looking at once they move to the Big 12, once they move to a Power 4 conference, when they've got all this money. I mean, 22-15 is respectable. Last year they were 9-9 in conference. Like, that's respectable. That's not a bad program by any means, but 7th in the Big 12.
Yeah.
7th in the Big 12. And again, you're sitting here bragging about being a Power 4 school. Like, I couldn't tell. You weren't in the tournament this year.
Nope.
You weren't in the tournament last year or the year before. So, in fact, they have not made the NCAA tournament since 2018-19.
If anybody, if anybody can go in there and, I mean, we've seen Jared
Calhoun can probably
firsthand.
win. Yeah.
We've seen it firsthand.
Is he going to beat
It
Iowa
might take
State?
a little bit. I don't know. I don't think it's going to come.
Is he going to beat BYU? Is he going to beat Houston or Arizona?
And that's where the question comes in, right? Right now the top of the Big 12 is so heavy.
Yeah.
And I don't anticipate that to be any different next season.
Right.
Because we've seen it a little bit. There's a shift now with NIL, now with the way that college sports is set up.
Yeah.
There is a shift that some of these big hitters in the Big 12 are getting better and better and really separating themselves from the bottom half.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we'll see where Cincinnati lands and all that. I don't know if they'll necessarily be at the level of the Arizonas, of the Houstons, of the Iowa States, right? But they can definitely be one of those teams, like a UCF, one of the middle of the pack teams that is going to be potentially in contention for the tournament.
So you're gonna make the NCAA tournament, win a game in the first round, and then lose in the second round. Exactly what happened in Logan.
Yeah.
So I'm not dumb enough to think that that Utah State can pay as much money as Cincinnati, or that Utah State has as much resources for the roster as Cincinnati. But I'm saying, like, if I had to put money on where Jared Calhoun could win more basketball games over the next 5 years, Logan or Cincinnati, I'd put money on Logan.
Yeah.
But some of these guys, dudes, I want to go through some of these tweets just because they were funny. They were funny.
Can I start with the first one?
Yeah.
There's this one from Holy Cosmo that said, "You're getting cooked in the comments right now, but TBH, you deserve it, Christian."
A BYU fan. Well, and that's what's funny to me is you talk about, Cincinnati is the 12th winningest program all time in college basketball. You know who's 16?
Who's that?
Utah.
Yeah.
Right below Cincinnati.
Yeah.
You think Craig Smith regrets leaving Logan for Utah? His bank account probably doesn't regret it.
Yeah.
But you think right now, if you could travel back to whatever 2020 or 21, whenever he left, and say, hey, this is what's going to happen. You're going to get a nice contract, but your on-court product is going to be terrible. You're going to lose a bunch of fans. You're going to get fired. You think Craig Smith doesn't regret that? So I don't know, man. I just, and again, sometimes you make these tweets without realizing they can leave your little Twitter circle and make it across the entire country, and Cincinnati fans are going to find it and pick things up. Somebody asked if I've been having too much dirty soda. I thought that was really funny. History, resources, conference affiliation. It's just a different level of program. Utah State has been great and made good/great hires, but their last 3 coaches have left them for Washington, VCU, and Utah. Something tells me UC is a pretty easy decision. Sure. A bunch of this has to be rage bait. You don't say.
And you know what? Rage bait it. You did.
Sure.
You did enrage a lot of Cincinnati fans.
And we can't listen. I also don't want to lose sight of the fact that Calhoun went to Cincinnati. His first years coaching were as a grad assistant at Cincinnati. So obviously, obviously it's the chance for him to go home. Like, I don't know. People think that I'm dense.
Yeah.
Good. Don't realize that.
Good homecoming for Calhoun, man. But now I think Utah State has a really important hire to make, man.
It's crazy how uninformed they are in Utah. They literally think that only the last 5 years of a bad hire exist. They have no idea Cincinnati has 4 to 5 times more NIL and can pay 3 times more as a coach now being a full member. The resources aren't even close.
Yeah,
true.
Which is funny because the CBS article that talked about Jared Calhoun taking the Cincinnati job, there was less NIL than I think than I expected available to Cincinnati.
I mean, it's still way more than. I mean, Utah State has 0 NIL coming in from from the actual school. All of their quote unquote NIL was from outside revenues. Shout out Jim Lobb and those boosters, right? So this is a funny one. It's the remember the movie Grown Ups?
I do, yeah.
How the one guy has the 2 daughters that are like supermodels, and then the third daughter that looks like him. Yeah. There's a picture of those daughters, and one of them says Cincinnati. The other one, the one that looks like Rob Schneider, says Utah State. That's really funny. I'd really like to know what rock you live under. Yeah.
What rock do you live under, Christian?
I live in Layton.
It's a pretty big.
Cincinnati has as many national titles as your entire conference. It's maybe a top 10 or 15 program of all time. What's the actual question?
Your conference?
I guess. I did not play college sports.
Oh, yeah.
Also, the Pac-12. I mean, they're Pac-12 now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. Look, I get it. Sometimes people can't read through sarcasm on Twitter. But at the same time, like, again, Jared Calhoun could have stayed in Logan for 10, 15 years and had a ton of success. They were a borderline Sweet 16 this year. I do think with a little bit more NIL, that team could make some real noise in March. And they did this year. I mean, again, they beat Villanova, a dang near blue blood program.
That was a fun game, man.
And then they had Arizona on the ropes.
Yeah.
And you're talking about a $2 million roster.
I think we're short on time here. I know we got to get to a break, so we won't play the full clip. But I think there was a clip circulating on social media about Jared Calhoun's introductory presser where he talks about Utah State being a top 30 job in America, but he felt slighted when he got the 9th seed, and obviously he wants to go on and win a national championship. And I think his comment of the game has changed and college basketball has changed forever because you win a regular season you win the regular season and you win the tournament title and you get a 9 seed. He's absolutely right. It's pretty telling. It's pretty telling on how the committee and Selection Sunday sees these mid-major conferences.
And that's just this.
I don't know
year.
if that changes. I don't know if that changes now that you're heading to the Pac-12.
Yeah.
But I think that there's still, because of the new look Pac-12 and who's in the new look Pac-12, I mean, you have Gonzaga, and then you're going to have a bunch of former
the WCC
Mountain
had
West.
3 teams in the in the tournament this year. San Diego State was a 5 seed in the tournament last year.
So I don't know if that perception changes even now that you are taking the Pac-12.
I think it does. I think this was just a bad year for the Mountain West, and that's why Utah State got slighted. That's why they only got 1 team in the tournament. But I mean, San Diego State made a finals run just a couple years ago. Like, people know this conference can ball. Again, they were a 5 seed in the tournament last year. Like, it was just a down year for the conference and whatever. It was bad timing, but I get it. At the end of the day, if I could make more money to get a job for the program that I went to school at, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I don't blame Calhoun for taking 6-year, $3.7 million contract. Utah State can't match that.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they could, again, closer to home, that's where he's from. I totally get it. Whatever. I can't wait to bookmark all of these, though, and come back to all the Cincinnati fans when they win, when they maybe win a game in the NCAA tournament next year. I don't even feel confident sitting here and saying they're going to make the tournament next year. Again, they were
I don't feel confident
9th
about
place
that
in the Big 12 this year.
Yeah.
9th place.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable with that either.
I don't know. Whatever, man. I've made an enemy of entire state. Not welcome in Ohio.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just Ohio.
Okay, we got to get a break. Coming up next, we've got a huge technical foul. You can guess what it is. I mean, it is textbook.
Yeah.
These are the mornings we wake up for, Alex. Like, these are the headlines that when they come out, I say, oh, man, I can't wait to talk about that on the Saturday show.
Yep.
We got that next. So stick with us. We'll get to it. It's the Saturday show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is JJ and Alex.
I got this.
And the Mammoth obviously have a lot of work cut out for them still because they are now at a point where, again, I hate looking at the percentages, JJ. Doesn't it make you nervous to go, yeah, right now they sit at 76.5% to be that wild card 1 team. There's so much hockey still left to be played.
Yeah, that percentage can drop quickly if you lose 4 straight again. Overall, you're looking at where this team is at. They're in that number 1 wild card spot. They control their own destiny. I would rather be in that number 1 wild card spot than in the number 3 central spot because if you're the Wild, you're either playing the Avalanche or the Stars in the first round. That's brutal.
It is.
I would rather be the Mammoth. You're going to be playing a first round playoff series against the Ducks, and then you get the winner of the Oilers and Knights in the next round. I'd rather do that than get the Stars or Avalanche in the second round. If they're in that number 1 wild card spot with as good as that team is, there's a path for them to go on a long run in the playoffs, not just win a series.
Catch JJ and Alex afternoons from 3 to 7 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Win big this Wednesday on the KSL Sports Zone with Win Ticket Wednesday. This week, win tickets to see Weezer with the Shins and Silver Zone pickup at the Maverick Center September 15th. Pre-sale begins Thursday at 10 a.m. with the code WEMAV26 at LiveNation.com. Listen to the KSL Sports Zone Wednesday for your chance to win.
Pet owners and parents know the struggle. Every time dogs or kids go outside, they track mud right back in. If you're tired of scrubbing floors, you need Muddy Mat, the anti-mud mat that cleans paws and shoes before they ruin your home. Only Muddy Mat features thousands of ultra soft microfibers that are 5 times more absorbent than ordinary mats, instantly trapping dirt and water to protect your floors. Put it by every door, under pet bowls, in the kitchen for spills. It even makes a perfect bath mat. And it's 100% machine washable, so cleanup is effortless.
Since getting Muddy Mat, I don't worry about what my dog gets into. His paws are clean the second he steps off.
No more mopping. I love it. Thank you, Muddy Mat. Right now, get a free medium Muddy Mat of $50 savings with your order of 2 or more mats at buymuddymat.com. This offer is only available at buymuddymat.com. That's BUYMUDDMAT.com. Don't wait. Get your free Muddy Mat today at buymuddymat.com.
The KSL Sports Zone is your home for live local sports. Tonight, the Utah Mammoth are in LA to play the Kings. The game gets underway at 7 o'clock on 1280 The Zone. Big game in the playoff race in the Western Conference. The Utah Jazz are in Phoenix playing the Suns at 8 o'clock. Listen on 97.5 The Zone. And the Salt Lake Bees are in Las Vegas. You can listen to the game at 8 o'clock on 102.7 HD2. And if you want to hear your company's name right here, email Stephanie Palmer at spalmer@ksl.com and join the winning team at the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey guys, Alex Curie here. You've heard us talking about SLC fat loss, and here I am again. You know why? Because it works. If you've ever lost the weight, if you've ever gained it back, then lose it and then gain it back, you're not alone. In fact, the number one concern people have about losing weight, it's not about just losing the weight, it's about gaining it all back later. And a new 2026 study found something pretty surprising. Here's what they have. People who stopped GLP-1 injections for their weight loss regained all that weight back nearly 4 times faster than the people who lost weight through just diet and behavioral programs. Why? Because a lot of medications only work while you stay on them. When you stop, your old habits, that appetite, it all returns, and so does the weight. Losing weight is the easy part. It's about learning how to keep it off and enjoy life. That's what really matters. At SLC Fat Loss, their doctor-developed program helps adults lose 20 to 40 pounds in about 60 days using real food from the grocery store. But more importantly, they're going to teach you how to maintain that weight loss long-term without giving up the foods that you love. See if you're a candidate today. Schedule that free consultation at slcfatloss.com. That's slcfatloss.com. Results may vary.
I didn't realize how bad my windows were until I replaced them. You think your house is fine, and then you sit by a new high-performance window, and suddenly you're not freezing in the winter or baking in the summer. Peach Windows and Doors showed me the difference between builder-grade windows and real performance windows. The glass packages, the seals, the insulation, it's not even close. And here's the part I love. It completely changes the look of the house. Cleaner lines, bigger glass, more light. It instantly feels upgraded. Whether you're building $1 million home or you want yours to look like one, windows matter more than you think. Lower energy bills, more comfort, massive curb appeal. Go see the difference for yourself at peachdoorsandwindows.com or visit their showroom. Trust me, once you see the difference, you can't unsee it. peachdoorsandwindows.com.
Spring is in the air and your forever begins here. At TSH Events in the Joseph Smith Memorial Building, elegant spaces set the stage for unforgettable I-dos. Celebrate your love story where every detail feels timeless. Reserve your perfect date today at tshevents.com.
If you're coming from the street with dirty shoes on your feet, that's a technical foul. If you switch the radio to some modern music show, that's a technical foul. If you touch the thermostat,
you'll get hit with a bat.
'Cause that's a technical foul.
You will feel my wrath.
That's a
personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
A technical foul.
Welcome back to the Saturday Show 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napolis. It's time for Technical Fouls, one of our favorite segments every week. Alex, I did kind of tease this earlier. Sometimes, you know, the way this segment works, we kind of got our ears to the ground all week, right? Like we'll see a headline Monday or Tuesday, kind of put it in the back pocket. I'll throw it on the dock maybe. Say, yeah, we could talk about this for technical fouls because it's funny.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's outlandish, whatever. Sometimes some weekends are a little lighter than others. You really got to dig pretty hard to find something, find a quality technical foul. But, Alex, sometimes these handlines are dang near sealed up and mailed to us in an envelope, right?
Yeah, I came into, I guess, yesterday thinking that my technical foul this week was going to be Dan Orlovsky and his constant pushing of Ty Simpson and the heat that he's taken over that. But then obviously yesterday happens, and you said it during the break. Sometimes the show just writes itself.
So Orlovsky can be a honorable mention.
Yes, he is an honorable mention.
Okay, because we have a technical foul that I think is big enough for both of our spots.
Yes,
Tiger Woods. Involved in a rollover crash yesterday in Florida. He has been charged with DUI. This is the second time this has happened. It's a crazy story. I don't know what's crazier, the actual story or the fact that you could like look at this headline and read it without seeing the date and feel like deja vu, because it's almost the exact thing that we have heard before, right? I mean, Tiger's trying to make a comeback. Trying to get back on track, getting ready for this year. And then he has this accident. And thankfully, nobody involved was hurt, right? Sound like he was driving at a high speed and clipped a trailer of a truck, like a pressure washing truck. He tried to pass him and just clipped the end of it. And he rolled his $1 million Land Rover. Very nice looking car. I saw the picture, by the way.
Yeah.
Very, very nice looking car. Not anymore. So, yeah, I mean, thankfully that nobody's hurt, but Tiger, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I mean, you've got the money. I don't know what he was on his way to, whether it was a tee time or what, but you've got the money, man, at this point to never have to drive again. You know, go hire a driver. And I know there's a lot of speculation out there because of the multiple injuries and surgeries that Tiger Woods has had. And, you know, he blew the breathalyzer yesterday and it came out as a 0.00, so it wasn't alcohol that's in his system. And then he declined a urine test, right?
Yes,
so,
yep.
I mean, people could speculate on what he was under the influence of, right? And there's all these theories of what was going on. But at the end of the day, man, if you are impaired, do not drive. Do not drive. Get somebody to help you out. And again, it's just terrible that this is a second time that we've got to talk about this with Tiger. I mean, you're talking about a dude that even still on the course, one of the best golfers of all time, one of the greatest athletes of all time, but he's got all of this off the field stuff that is just continuing to damage his legacy over and over and over again. And it's like, you have the world in your hands, bro, and you're letting it get the better of you. You can't keep your head on straight.
Yeah. For this to happen again. You think you learned your lesson the first time. But you're absolutely right. I know it's a technical foul, and I know that we in this segment we typically make light of situations, but in this one, like in all seriousness, get someone to never drive impaired.
No, it's terrible.
For your sake, for the sake of others.
And you're lucky nobody got hurt, man.
And this one, nobody got hurt, and I think that's obviously the best part about it.
Reading an article from the New York Post, super credible source. He was released from jail Friday night, several hours after being booked on DUI charges. And then the last sentence of the article says, he snuck out of the back door of the jail in a failed bid to avoid the media.
There is pictures of him leaving in the passenger seat of another of a different car. Right?
Yeah, that's right. That picture is going around. Yeah.
So it does feel very deja vu-y, I guess, with this story, because I mean we've seen it before.
Yeah, and apparently he's dating President Trump's former daughter-in-law. Is that the?
I have no idea.
I'm not sure the exact relationship, but basically Donald Trump came and said that he doesn't want his grandkids to ride with Tiger Woods anymore. Yeah. That's, you know what? I had that situation too. It got to a point where, you know, my mom told me I couldn't ride with my grandpa anymore in the car. That happens. Some reasons are different than others.
Yeah.
Yeah. It happens.
It does.
Tiger, at this point, I think you would be better off served just disappearing into obscurity. I think right now Tiger Woods is doing more to hurt his reputation than help it, and I know he's constantly going to think that this is the year that I'm going to get back on track. And then, again, something stupid happens.
Yeah, and Alex Carey brought up a really good point yesterday when we were talking about this. As we were getting ready for JJ and Alex, he's like, I don't think there's really many more people that like an entire country is rooting for and hoping that there is redemption there and there is success. People like Tiger
because he was the coolest dude ever.
Yeah, people love Tiger.
Like in the early 2000s, he was the next Michael Jordan.
Right. And then he goes and does stuff like this, and it's like, again.
Yeah, now we all look stupid.
Yeah.
I'm done with Tiger.
It's unfortunate.
I'm done with Tiger Woods, man.
Unfortunate.
Shout out to the Royals, lead in 1-0 at halftime. Again, Utah Royals with a Saturday morning matchup against the Boston Legacy. That game is currently on 12:80 a.m. Also streaming on the YouTube. If you want to watch some NWSL action, go check out the Royals. 1-0 at halftime. Shout out to JP Chunga doing that game. We're going to take a break. Coming up next, we will talk about March Madness, Elite 8 today.
Let's do it.
Sweet 16. Not a ton of action, but a ton of action at the same time, if you catch my drift.
Yeah.
We'll get into that next. Elite 8 starting today, and we'll talk about some of those games and what we've seen throughout March Madness. Stick with us. It's the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Whether you're stuck in the office,
I believe you have my stapler,
in your car, or at your in-laws.
You want a piece of me? You bet I do.
The Zone is with you every step of the way. Download the KSL Sports app to get live streaming of your favorite shows and access to all the latest updates on your favorite teams. Your home for the best coverage of the Utes, Cougars, Jazz, and Mammoth is on air, online, and on the KSL Sports app. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Pet owners and parents know the struggle. Every time dogs or kids go outside, they track mud right back in. If you're tired of scrubbing floors, you need Muddy Mat, the anti-mud mat that cleans paws and shoes before they ruin your home. Only Muddy Mat features thousands of ultra-soft microfibers that are 5 times more absorbent than ordinary mats, instantly trapping dirt and water to protect your floors. Put it by every door, under pet bowls, in the kitchen for spills. It even makes a perfect bath mat. And it's 100% machine washable, so cleanup is effortless.
Since getting Muddy Mat, I don't worry about what my dog gets into. His paws are clean the second he steps off.
No more mopping. I love it. Thank you, Muddy Mat.
Right now, get a free medium Muddy Mat of $50 savings with your order of 2 or more mats at buymuddymat.com. This offer is only available at buymuddymat.com. That's BUYMUDDMAT.com. Don't wait. Get your free Muddy Mat today at buymuddymat.com.
Nothing does more to help communities grow and thrive than small business. That's why America First Credit Union is proud to partner with the Utah Jazz to present the Utah Jazz Small Business Spotlight, recognizing the incredible impact of local business across Utah. Each season, America First Credit Union is giving small business a chance to shine with a custom sponsorship package valued at up to $200,000, which could include in-game, broadcast, and social media exposure. Nominate a deserving business today at americafirst.com/jazz. America First Credit Union, official credit union of the Utah Jazz. Take your golf game to the next level. Introducing the Rev Tour, a new competitive league for amateur golfers of all skill levels. It's fair, competitive, flighted league play built for everyone who loves the game. Starting with leagues in northern and southern Utah, then local regionals advance to Las Vegas. Vegas for 2026 to punch your ticket to the Nationals. All regional winners will be able to play at Pebble Beach with deep discounts. Sign up now at golfrevtour.com and get $50 off April using promo code REV1280. golfrevtour.com, promo code REV1280.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SPEED to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SPEED for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SPEED for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
David James for Soda Weight Loss. State of the art. Do you want to lose weight? You can do it. I did. My goal was to lose 20 pounds. It took 5 weeks. Soda helped me get the weight off, lose those pounds, and lose those inches. No shots, no pills. It costs thousands of dollars to keep getting those shots and pills to keep the weight off. Instead, call Soda. SOTA. Go to sodaweightloss.com or call them at 866-800-SODA. You'll get a nutritionist. You'll meet with them once a week. You'll come up with a plan that works for you and your health history. You don't starve yourself. You get 3 meals per day plus 2 snacks. They'll get the sugar and the sodium out of your diet. The weight and the inches will come off. It worked for me. It can work for you. Call right now, 866-800-SOTA. Go online. Check their 9,000 Google reviews. And they got a buy one, get one offer right now. You and a friend, 2 transformations for the price of 1. Call Soda right now, 866-800-SOTA. Join Soda for a short time. Lose the weight for a lifetime.
Listen every Monday morning to DJ and PK and Monday afternoon with JJ and Alex for your Chevy Strong Play of the Game. Win great prizes from Rocky Mountain Chevy.
97.5 KZNS FM Colville, 1280 KZNS AM Salt Lake City, and KSL FM HD2 Salt Lake City Midvale. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
I'm the king of rock.
Is anyone up for a game of basketball?
From the corner, and it's over.
Glass smash your jaw, too fast for your
basketball. Give me the ball because I'm gonna dunk it. Oh my goodness!
Cause when it comes to playing basketball, I'm always last to be picked, and in some cases never picked at all.
If you're looking for madness in March.
Madness.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
College basketball. This is March Madness.
Welcome back to the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napolis. Shout out to Parker making that awesome intro. We actually made that last year.
Yeah, we did.
Or Parker made that last year.
Yes.
We never got the opportunity to play it.
But now we do.
Now we do. Awesome stuff. Yeah, man. Sweet 16 is here, right? Second weekend of college basketball. A lot of people will say that the Sweet 16 is their favorite round because there's 4 games back-to-back days, and there's not a ton of overlap between the games, right? So you can theoretically just pop it on the couch, red zone style, not move a single muscle
just watch
for several hours.
Yeah, just watch basketball.
Watch basketball.
Absolutely.
So the Elite Eight is set, right? You brought this up in the break, though. One of the things you wanted to talk about with this is actually a historic NCAA tournament because we are seeing the most blowouts.
More blowouts than ever before.
Most 20-point victories in this tournament, more than any other tournament. Do you have the numbers?
Yes. So with Thursday's Arizona win over Arkansas, they won that one at 109-88. That was the 20th game decided by 20 points or more in this tournament. That is the most in NCAA tournament history ever. The previous high was 19 back in 1999.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this opens up a conversation, and I think this is why you look at the NCAA tournament, right, and the Cinderella, I guess, of this Elite Eight right now is Iowa.
It's Iowa
as a 9 seed. But Alex, they're a Big Ten school,
right?
And even coming into the Sweet 16, they were all Power 4 schools. Not a single mid-major was left. Like Utah State was the world's final hope at a true Cinderella run this year,
right?
And that's all gone because, and we talked about it a little bit with the Coach Calhoun, the Cincinnati stuff, like. We are seeing the discrepancy between programs that have the resources and programs that don't. You look at Arizona, like all of the 1 seeds are still alive except for Florida, and that was a super disappointing loss. They lost to Iowa, right?
Mm-hmm.
2 seed Purdue is still alive. 2 seed UConn is still alive. You've got Illinois rounding out the thing, and Tennessee, a 3 and 6 seed. So you're just not seeing these no-name schools making deep runs anymore because they just can't compete. I mean, Utah State's played Arizona the closest that anybody has this tournament.
Right.
And I brought it up earlier, like that's a $2 million roster going up against whatever Arizona has. And I think that is, I don't know if I want to say ruining March Madness. I mean, some people would certainly say it's ruining March Madness. I definitely think that it's why the past 2 years this bracket is going more chalk than traditionally it does.
Yeah, and I think, I don't want to say it's dead either because I think there's still glamour to it. I think there's still a lot of glamour and a lot of fun to the tournament, even with the absence of a true Cinderella. You look at the games from Thursday night, and that Texas-Purdue game was so fun, man. Going down to the wire. I did enjoy the Illinois victory over Houston just because I thought Houston was going to make the Final Four. I hated that game. I thought it was going to make the Final Four. And
some of the worst basketball I've ever watched.
It's a very disappointing loss for Houston, but I think the storyline of Illinois knocking off the powerhouse that is Houston, I thought that was fun. Obviously, Iowa is a fun story. The game wasn't necessarily fun, but it's a fun story to see a 9-seeded Iowa knock off Nebraska, who, by the way, Nebraska had won their first NCAA tournament game in program history.
That's crazy
in this tournament. Duke St. John's was fun.
That was a great game. Yesterday's games were much more fun.
Well, so much more fun. UConn Michigan State was fun, seeing Hurley go against Izzo.
Yeah.
That was...
Well, and Michigan State started off the game terrible. They had a stretch where they missed 16 of 18 shots.
Yeah.
They made 2 of their 18 shots to start the first half, and they eventually pulled in and made that one a game. So that one got a lot more fun. And yeah, that St. John's and Duke game, man, I could have watched that one over and over and over again.
I would have loved to see Patino go through, man.
Yeah.
I'm a big Patino fan, just because he looks like he'd be tied into the Italian mob.
Yeah.
But Duke. They're my pick to win the championship.
They are. I mean, they are who I picked in my bracket.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Beating St. John's gave me a little ease. But their first 2 games, man, I mean, they barely beat Siena.
Right.
And that worried me quite a bit. But St. John's is a good program, and again, Patino's a great coach. So getting past them, that's a great win. I think Michigan might have the best player in the tournament still alive. Yaxel Lendenborg has been phenomenal. He's been really, really good. And he's a senior, right? And that speaks to, like, all of the teams left right now, their best players aren't really freshmen. I mean, you look at even Arizona, like Koa Pete, their big-name freshman, is not the best player on this roster. So I don't know. I think that, local schools take note, right? Hint, hint. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nice to have these big-time freshmen that come in and score a lot of points, but, well, I guess Duke has the Boozer twins, right? But Duke is always Duke. So I don't know. I really like Lindenborg, though.
Duke just has a well-rounded team.
They always do.
Even though...
And it's not just the Boozer twin. And actually, they didn't play great yesterday.
Yeah. I think now with the March Mad, with the tournament, I look at it as, you mentioned it, right? The top teams have the top resources, and they're kind of separating themselves. You look at the Arizonas, the Dukes, the Michigans, and for as much talk as we have about football and NIL making it more even, more competitive, and spreading the talent across teams, I think might be doing the opposite for basketball.
You think so?
Because what's to stop a breakout player in the NCAA tournament from a mid-major team to jump in the portal after everybody sees this guy play in the tournament, has a great performance, maybe goes on the first round, then has the opportunity to transfer to a different school.
Well, and also in basketball, bringing in one good player does a lot more for your team than splurging on one good player in the football transfer portal.
And I know it's comparing apples and oranges a bit, comparing football and basketball, right, at the college level, because they are two different sports. They are two different. They are ultimately very different. But I think for everything that we applaud NIL doing for college football, I think it's doing the opposite for college basketball.
Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons, right? I've always been pro players getting paid because I mean
right, and I am too. I am pro
the
players
NCAA is
getting
a
paid.
brand built on the backs of these kids.
Right, Nick Saban made a career out of it.
Right,
and
Nick Saban became a super millionaire out of it.
Right, and so I think it is great that the players that players are getting paid now, and I think NIL has done really well in that sense, but. With the transfer portal being willy-nilly, with teams having the resources to go out and make these big NIL deals in basketball, all the talent is going to the blue bloods, to the bigger schools, and the mid-major is getting left out of the fun, man.
Yeah, I mean it's tough because you look at the biggest names, right? BYU's out; they had AJ DeBonsa. Darren Peterson is out with Kansas, right? It's just more than I know I just said that one player makes a bigger impact, but also, again, it's more than just that one player, right? And you can bring in all the talent you want, but you still got to have a good coach. And I think coaching really matters in college basketball, and that's why a lot of these programs that are still alive, I mean, it's great coaching, or they've got a lot of resources. Like, that's why Texas got past BYU and Gonzaga. Like, Texas is not a historically good basketball program, but you know what they are? They're an SEC school with a lot of money.
Yeah.
And a competent coaching. I'm not even going to sit here and say that their coach is a great coach because I don't know. I don't follow Texas basketball, but I mean, he's good enough to win a couple games in March. Like,
Texas was definitely underseeded, in my opinion.
You think? I mean, yeah, sure. They made it to Sweet 16. You could say that about a lot of schools, man. St. John's, I think, was underseeded, right? But I don't know. Like, you're seeing this every single year, and it's getting more and more narrow as far as the seeds that are.
Yeah.
Last year, right, it was all 4-1 seeds made it to. It wasn't all 4-1 seeds in the Final Four, was it?
Oh, I can't remember off the top of my head.
But they were definitely.
It was most.
Still alive late. And we're almost seeing the same thing this year. So I think, to your point, man, it's the schools, it's the haves rising up above the have-nots. And It is funny looking at some of these programs, especially speaking of like UConn and Duke. Ironically, like Duke won the ACC championship in football on a technicality. But like Duke is a basketball school, right? UConn is a basketball school. They're not spending money on their football teams. Michigan State's football team was terrible this year, right? So how many of these schools are prioritizing basketball over football? Purdue, right? Like, I don't know, Michigan, I guess.
Michigan has
no. Michigan is on the want to be careful what I say about Coach Witt, but yeah, they should be a really good football team next year.
Yeah,
I am interested to see like how long that can keep up, right? How long are you going to be a powerhouse in football and basketball, or are you going to have to kind of commit to one or the other? So I think that's a very interesting thing too. But then you look at like Iowa. Yeah, Iowa's got a respectable football program, and they're making a run.
Respectable, yeah. That's a good word for Iowa.
Arizona's football team was decent this year, but they're certainly more of a basketball school, right? So how many of these, Elite Eight and Final Four teams are we going to continue to see, that school just picked investing in basketball over football?
Yeah. I did go back and look at last year's, and it was all 4-1 seeds.
In the Final Four? The Final Four was the 4-1 seeds?
The Final Four was all 4-1 seeds.
Yeah.
And
we very well might have that again this year, aside from Florida,
Besides
right?
Florida, yeah. Duke, I think Duke has done enough to... There was concerns for me there, too, because of the way that they started off the tournament, but after beating St. John's, you're absolutely right. Like, there is a little bit more... and who knows, maybe they... maybe it was a little bit more of a lack of effort because it was, the earlier rounds, and they didn't want to...
They had a player straight up say that.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Against
That's
Siena.
right.
He was like, we thought we could just roll over and cakewalk through this or whatever.
Yep, absolutely. But Duke has come around, Arizona, I think, has a really, really big shot of winning the national championship as well. And then we'll see what Michigan does too, man. And one of the players yesterday, after winning their game, they said that this is probably the best Michigan team ever.
Sure. I would say that too if I was on the team.
So
so coming up today, right? 4:09 is the first tip-off. Illinois and Iowa. Illinois 6.5-point favorites. That's going to be in Texas. And then the other game tonight, Purdue and Arizona. That should be a really fun game. Arizona 5.5-point favorites. That's going to be in San Jose. And then tomorrow's games, you're looking at Tennessee and Michigan. Michigan is 7.5-point favorites. That game is in Chicago. And then Duke and UConn, 3:05 p.m. tomorrow. Duke, 5.5-point favorites. That game is in D.C. I think definitely the highlights for both days are the afternoon games, right? A 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2.
Yep, on both sides.
And again, you're looking at both of those games are two basketball schools going head to head. So I don't know. That's an interesting point. I mean, I don't follow Purdue football closely, but there's a reason, right?
Yeah, they were not good this year.
Right. So, and again, I know that, yeah, sure, technically Duke football won the ACC championship, but let's not kid ourselves. They're not powerhouses. Yeah, man. I think there is a very real possibility of 2 1 seeds being alive. 3 1 seeds being alive, when we're looking at next weekend's games.
Looking at the Final Four, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, it would be 3 1 seeds and either a 3 or a 9, depending on
I
who
hope
wins.
it's the 9, man. I hope it's the 9, just because
everybody picked Iowa going far, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'd be awesome if it was Iowa to take down Illinois, because then you'd have the 1-1-1 and a 9 just chilling and hanging out, and then that would be your Cinderella. And I mean, it's unfortunate to think about, but that could be the future of the tournament, where you have these low-ranked power forward teams like in Iowa, or even a Texas making it to the Final Four, and that's your Cinderella going forward, instead of having a San Diego State and a Florida Atlantic make it to the Final Four.
Yeah.
So,
well, maybe the Pac-12 can become a P5 school again. We'll see.
Gonzaga will.
That's a joke, by the way. I got to clarify when I'm joking now, because people apparently don't. I don't know. You got to spell it out these days.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a break, Alex. Utah Mammoth. We got to talk about Mammoth. We haven't hit Mammoth in a couple weeks. Things are looking a little shaky.
Starting to get nervous.
We'll hit Mammoth next. Royals, by the way, 56th minute, they are leading 2-0. 2-0 over Boston. So shout out to the Utah Royals over on 1280 AM. They're also live on YouTube as well if you want to check that out. But let's take a break, Alex. We will talk Utah Mammoth and NHL next. Stick with us. It's the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Just a bunch of guys sitting around and talking sports. This is Scotty G and friends.
Athletic Director of Utah State University, Cameron Walker. Not only are you looking to hire a new head coach, but you also become the de facto recruiter to keep your own student athletes in place. How do you manage that as an athletic director?
Obviously, my job here is to keep as many as I can and have the best team. But if it's best for someone to go, then they should go. But I ask them, hang tight, don't do anything in the next 48 hours. Don't decide to stay or go. Collect your thoughts. let us get a hire in and then make your decision. You'll have time. It'll be okay. But then when that time comes, make the best decision for you and your family. I think that's important. I think as much as I'd love to say, hey, you player X, stay, because that's best for me. If that's not best for them, I'm being selfish, and that's not what Utah State's about.
Catch Scotty G and friends weekdays from noon to 3 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Utah, you know sports, and nobody connects with fans like the KSL Sports Zone. Every day, our loyal listeners tune in for the latest on the Jazz and the Mammoth, Utes, Cougars, and Aggies, high school sports, all of it live and local. If you're a business owner looking to grow, this is your audience. Engaged, passionate, ready to respond. And when you combine the power of the zone with digital tools like social, display, streaming audio, geo-targeting, and retargeting, you get a smart, full-funnel strategy built for any budget. Tap into the energy of Utah sports fans and drive real results. Learn more at kslsports.com/advertise.
If you've ever lost weight, gained it back, then lost it again, you're not alone. In fact, the number one concern people have about losing weight isn't losing the weight, it's gaining it all back later. And a new 2026 study found something surprising. People who stopped GLP-1 weight loss injections regained weight nearly 4 times faster than people who lost weight through diet and behavioral programs. Why? Because many medications only work while you stay on them. When you stop, your old habits and appetite return, and the weight often comes back. Losing weight is the easy part. Learning how to keep it off while still enjoying life is what really matters. At SLC Fat Loss, their doctor-developed program helps adults lose 20 to 40 pounds in about 60 days using real food from the grocery store. But more importantly, they teach you how to maintain your weight long-term without giving up the foods you love. To see if you're a candidate, schedule your free consultation today at slcfatloss.com. That's slcfatloss.com. Results may vary.
Hi, this is Derek Overstreet, president of the New Millennium Group and co-host of Stop Working, Start Living with KSL News Radio. Can you imagine what your life would be like if you could retire 3 to 5 years earlier than you thought possible? The things you could do, the loved ones you could spend time with, the memories that you could create. That's what our team at the New Millennium Group does. We'll walk you through the entire process every step of the way. If you'd like to get a copy of the 5-step proprietary plan that will help you retire 3 to 5 years sooner than you thought possible, give us a shout right now. 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com. Listen, most of our listeners right now have a tax problem, not a money problem. There's not enough money in Social Security Medicare as it is. Let us show you how you can significantly reduce your taxes. That's 888-999-6370. 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Breaking news just announced. Tim Daly Nissan Southtown has no interest for up to 84 months on 4 brand new 2026 Nissans. 2026 Rogue, Frontier, Pathfinder, and Murano. 4 new models, 0 interest, up to 84 months. At Tim Daly Nissan Southtown. Less than perfect credit or more than your current car's worth? With no interest up to 84 months, Tim Daly Nissan Southtown can solve your problem. You don't need perfect credit to qualify. And no money down is also an option. Save thousands in low monthly payments. Tim Daly Nissan Southtown, home of the Forever Warranty. Financing OAC. See dealer for details. Attention, Jazz Nation. We know you've been waiting on the edge of your seat, and the time has finally arrived. All tickets are available now. Let's go! Your favorite players will be back on the court, bringing the energy all season long. Whether you're looking for season tickets, mini plans, or single game matchups, there's a perfect option for every kind of fan. Show up loud and proud at Delta Center this season. Don't miss your chance to be part of the action. Buy your tickets today at utahjazz.com. Win big this Wednesday on the KSL Sports Zone with Win Ticket Wednesday. This week, win tickets to see Weezer with the Shins and Silvers on pickup at the Maverick Center September 15th. Pre-sale begins Thursday at 10 a.m. with the code WEMAV26 at livenation.com. Listen to the KSL Sports Zone Wednesday for your chance to win.
Hey, this is Chris with JCW's. Craving something sweet? We do ice cream right. Come in and try one of our shakes, freezes, or an ice cream cone, and you'll see why we say JCW's, quality, and a lot of it.
It's that time again.
5. 1,
2, 3, 4,
5 minutes. Only 5 minutes.
Everybody got that?
Oh, yeah. It's all coming together.
Get on with it.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
Yes, get on with it.
Welcome back to the Saturday Show 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napolis. It's time for 5 minutes of. We'll hit a couple different topics here. Real quick, the UFL started its league yesterday, and no, I'm not going to make this a UFL segment, right? Because I know the UFL has like 3 fans.
Yeah.
I understand our audience. But they're doing something interesting with the rules this year. They have made 60-yard field goals worth 4 points instead of 3. And historically, the UFL, or whatever football league is going on in the spring, it's always had several different names, they will try out these rules that the NFL will later adopt. Not saying the NFL has thought about adopting the 4-point field goal for 60-yard field goals, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. You saw it with the kickoff rule. There's new dynamic kickoff that a lot of people don't like. That started off in the UFL. Anyways, the first 4-point field goal in UFL history has been made, Matt McCrane. So, yeah, any field goal 60 or more yards is worth 4 points instead of 3. I think that's an interesting little wrinkle.
It is an interesting wrinkle, but I feel like maybe and I'm just not a big fan of change, and so I don't know. If I don't know if I would ever. I don't know if I would ever like to see the 4 points coming in for the NFL.
60-yard field goal.
For the NFL.
Yeah. I get it.
60-yard field goals are amazing. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And should absolutely be applauded and whatnot. But if we're gonna have field goals, man, just keep it at 3.
Shout out to Matt McCrane on the
makes
DC.
for more interesting games and more interesting late game scenarios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of 60-yard field goals in the NFL last year. That's why I bring it up, because it was a big storyline. But
right, and now you have kickers like Brandon Aubrey, who are just hitting from 60 just about every time they go out there.
A 60-yard field goal, and it's like, oh, Brandon Aubrey's got it.
Yeah, so making it 4 points in the NFL, that'd just be a cheat code for the Cowboys.
And that's the only cheat code that they would ever have. Okay, we got to talk NHL hockey because we haven't talked about the Mammoth in a while. And the Mammoth are at an interesting spot right now, Alex, because they've lost back-to-back games against the Washington Capitals and the Edmonton Oilers. Ovechkin had a hat trick, and then the game before that, McDavid had 2 goals, right?
Yeah.
So you're seeing like 2 of the greatest players to ever put on an NHL sweater are coming in and winning in Utah. But as the season winds down, 6, 7, 8, 9 games left on the year. You got to keep an eye on the wild card standings, because right now the Mammoths still hold the top wild card spot in the West at 80 points. Who's creeping up behind them, Alex? The Nashville Predators and the LA Kings and the Seattle Kraken. Guess who the Mammoth play their next 2 games? The Kings and the Kraken.
Yep.
And then Thursday, April 9th, they've still got Nashville on
Got a
deck.
game against the Predators coming up.
So tonight's game is huge, because not only can you if the Mammoth win in regulation, that's 2 points that you get and no points for the Kings. So you really want to win the next 2 games in regulation and not let them go in overtime, because you don't want these 2 teams, the Kings and the Kraken, picking up an overtime point. But you got to get back on track if you're the Mammoth right now. Back-to-back losses, and all in all, since March, they've kind of fallen apart.
Yeah. Did you know that in the last 10 games, the Mammoth are 3-7?
Right. It's not been great for the Mammoth. And
did you know that since the Olympic break, they have 2 wins at Delta Center?
And you know what sucks about that is they were playing so good before the Olympic break, and everybody was saying, oh yeah, you just got to keep this momentum up through the Olympic break. But Alex, what do you get when you have a roster full of 23-year-olds and you give them 3 weeks off?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely.
Man. The truth is, though, the Mammoth do sit in a really good spot. Again, you talk about controlling your own destiny. You hear that so many times throughout the football season, and the Mammoth truly have that right now in this wild card spot, because, again, they are 3 points ahead of Nashville. They're 4 points ahead of the Kings, and they are 6 points ahead of the Kraken, right? So as long as they can go 500 over the rest of the year, they're going to make the playoffs. Now, you talk about seeding, and you want to be that number 1 wild card spot. You do. And again, the Mammoth have every right to control that, I guess, but they got to get it back on track starting tonight. They really have to, because you don't want to go into the playoffs, your first playoff series ever as the Utah Mammoth with, bad momentum on your side. Yeah. You got to start that now.
I feel like this has been a little bit of the story of the season, Christian, where the team it's very streaky. It's very roller coastery. The highs for the Mammoth are really high and they're really great, and you're playing great hockey and getting some big wins.
Yep.
I mean, you went into Dallas and beat the Stars 6-3. Like, that's awesome. But when you get into the bottom of the roller coaster, right, the streaky part of it, the lows are really low, and it feels like right now the Mammoth are really low.
Well, and we're starting to see that not just game to game, but like in game too, because you look at this Capitals game, they were up 3-1 at the end of the first period.
Oh man, the inability to hold a lead for this Mammoth team, man, is insane.
Yeah, so the second period, Washington ties it up. It's tied 3-3 at the end of the second period. Then the Caps score 4 goals in the third period, and I know one of them was an empty netter. Ovi had a hat trick.
Yeah.
And it's like they're just completely shut down. So that's where you look to your leadership, honestly. And guys like Clayton Keller, guys like Mikhail Sergachev, Lawson Krause, guys that get the letters on their sweater. Guys that are supposed to set the culture and the leadership for this team. They've got to be engaged for all 3 periods, and they've got to be engaged for weeks at a time, not just a game-to-game thing. And I get it's tough because this is frankly, it's a scenario that this team has never been in before. And that's why they go out and bring in veterans like Nate Schmidt, like Mikhail Sergachev, who have been to the Stanley Cup playoffs and been to the Stanley Cup finals or won a Stanley Cup. And they have made that a point of emphasis in the offseason with some of these acquisitions. Like, you need that veteran talent and leadership in the locker room to teach your Dylan Gunthers, your Logan Coolies, your JJ Paterkas how to keep their heads on down the stretch of a season. And that all sounds nice in the offseason, right? But now is where you got to put your money where your mouth is, right? Now is when you want to see that talk turn into something. Because frankly, if this Mammoth team continues to slide like this, and then they, limp into the playoffs, it's not going to look good. And you don't want that to be Salt Lake City's first taste of playoff hockey.
Right.
A limping Utah Mammoth team. You want this Mammoth team to go in feeling like, I remember, what was it, a week or two ago when people were pulling out the likely playoff scenarios where it's like, okay, if they stay on that side of the bracket and they're playing Vegas or Anaheim or Edmonton, I mean, we could see them make it to the conference championship. Like, I don't know, man. I do know that people feel a lot differently about this Mammoth team right now than they did a week ago, just because the past couple of games have been a little worrying.
Right. You still want that wild card 1 spot because you want to make sure that you do everything you can to avoid the side of the bracket that will have the Dallas Stars and that will have the Colorado Avalanche.
Yes.
And
the Wild.
And the good news for Mammoth fans is, hey, they do control that destiny. They do control their destiny right now with still being in the wild card 1 spot despite the back-to-back losses. But you mentioned it, Christian. They go to the Kings tonight. They go to Seattle on Tuesday. Those are massive games, and the conversation of them controlling their destiny, I think, can be very different if they continue the losing streak.
Yeah.
With those 2 teams biting at the heels right now, the Utah Mammoth, this conversation can be very different come next Saturday, where instead of being in a position where you control your destiny, you're going to have the Kings, the Kraken, and the Predators right there next to you.
I know. 3-game road trip for the Mammoth starts today. Like you mentioned, they go Kings, Seattle, and then they'll be up in Vancouver. The good thing is, the Mammoth are ahead of the Kings and Seattle in the standings, right? So those should be competitive games. You'd like to win both of those. And then Vancouver is one of the worst teams in the league, so that should be 2 points for the Mammoth. But again, you don't want to sit here and talk about should be. Like, put up or shut up. Go out there and get those 2 points.
Yep.
And you talking about the Kings and Seattle, don't let those games get into overtime. If you're going to let one of these games go into overtime, let it be against Vancouver, because you don't want to give those other 2 teams points.
Or, crazy thought,
or just win all 3 games, yeah.
Just win all 3
games.
Yeah,
if it was that easy, come on. Yeah. Just win all 3 games. It's that easy.
Just win all 3 games, and then you don't have to worry about the overtime and the extra points, and you don't have to worry, you'll still have a hand on the driving wheel. You'll still be able to control your destiny for the wild card 1. They just need to bounce back, and they need to figure out how to hold on to leads, man.
Yeah. Right. If you get up stay up.
Stay up. You have to. The 3-1, being up 3-1 to the Capitals, and then just completely
falling apart, losing your momentum.
I think a lot of Mammoth fans online are very, very discouraged with the way that this team's playing right now, man. And
it's always something with this young team. It really always is.
Well, and I think rightfully so. I think rightfully so. Fans have the right to feel the way that they do about this Mammoth team. But I feel like if you can go into the Kings tonight and walk away with a positive result, that might tread the water a little bit.
Take it one game at a time.
And you have to right now. This is playoff hockey. The Mammoth are playing playoff hockey games tonight on Thursday when they take on Seattle, and quite frankly for the rest of the schedule here, because you do still have games against Carolina, who are a very good team. You still have you have to play the Edmonton Oilers again, a team at your place again, a team that just came into your place and beat you 5-2.
Yeah.
In a pretty tough loss. And so there are still some really tough games on the schedule for the Mammoth that down the stretch, it is playoff hockey. From here on out, for the Utah Mammoth, it is a playoff game.
It is, but so you look at these teams that they're playing, right? Like, as currently constituted, the only opponents on Utah's schedule that are playoff teams are Edmonton and Carolina. That's it. Yep. 2 of their next 7 opponents are playoff teams. The rest of the teams are out of the playoffs. So Utah Mammoth, show us why you
belong,
are in the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
Show us why you are a playoff team. Go out and beat these non-playoff. I mean, it sounds simple, and I know it's way more complicated than that, and that hockey is a very intricate game. But at the end of the day, show us why you are better than that. Show us why you are above those other teams in the standings. And I do think they have the talent to do it, and especially now you look at the health of this team, and they've got all their guys back, right? They're not dealing with any real major injuries. And I know over the course of an 82-game season, everybody gets banged up, but you're talking about a team that, went without Sean Dursey for an extended period, went without Logan Cooley, Dylan Gunther for extended periods, right? Those guys are all on the ice right now. Mackenzie Weegar, they made the big trade for him. He's playing real good hockey. You've got the talent to do it. So get out there, beat these teams that you should be beating, and wrap up that wild card race, man. Because I'll tell you, this market is itching for some hockey.
Absolutely.
That does remind me, we do got to get into a little bit of controversy because, again, Salt Lake City has never experienced playoff hockey before, right? And all of the Utah Mammoth season ticket holders got their emails about pricing for the playoff tickets, and I think a lot of people were caught off guard with how much money it's going to be. I'll tell you, my friend is a season ticket holder. He was texting me, if they wanted to buy playoff seats for every round of the playoffs, including the Stanley Cup, it would be like $30,000, like over $30,000, which is more than the actual regular season itself. So these season ticket holders are figuring out that, yeah, playoff hockey is expensive, and those, especially the pricing for those Stanley Cup playoff matchups, man, it's a pretty penny that you got to pay. But I'll tell you what, man, again, like, we have not had playoffs in this market since 2022, 2021, I guess. Like, we need something, and it's so close to being here. I'm not going to pay to go watch the games because I don't have that kind of money. But
what'd you say, 9 games left?
9 games in the regular season left, yeah.
It's right there, man.
It's right
there. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, but you have to make it to the end of that tunnel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Go win those games.
Go win those games. And we talked about it. It's a lot easier said than done. But if you can go out and just get this win against the Kings tonight, take it a game at a time, and you win against the Kings tonight, and I think a lot of Mammoth fans will feel a lot better about their chances of where they stand heading into the final 8 games at that point.
And we all know how dramatic fans are, right? Like, the hand is hovering above the panic button right now. If the Mammoth beat the Kings tonight, then that hand backs away a little bit. And it's like, okay, everything's fine, guys. Everything's fine.
There is in the tunnel as well, man. There is a danger zone. And if you lose to the Kings tonight, I think you walk just a little bit closer to that danger zone.
Yeah, that's true.
Absolutely. Mike Folta is obviously the radio play-by-play voice of the Utah Mammoth here on, and you can catch his call tonight. But He did just post on Twitter that it looks like there will be a couple of changes to some of the lines as the Mammoth look for some answers, which I like.
Yeah,
trying to shake things up to find some answers to see to figure some stuff out.
Yeah.
Instead of just trying to run it back and.
Yeah, you talk about a team that's been struggling since the Olympic break, right?
Right.
You got to go in there and make some tinkerings, right? And that's not something you want to do right before the playoffs start. But we mentioned 9 games left. That's still a couple weeks away from playoffs. So you've still got some time to figure some things out and wrap up the season on a high note.
Yeah. Per Mike, some of the lines this morning were, on the first line you had Keller, Schmaltz, and Krause. Yamamoto making the second line with Cooley and Gunther.
Whoa.
Paterka, McBain, Carconi on the third. And then on the blue line you had Mikhail Sergachev and Mackenzie Weegar, Schmidt Marino, and then Cole and Dursey.
Okay.
Those were the lines from this morning at the morning skate for the Mammoth.
Yamamoto making a jump to the second line.
Trying to make some changes, man.
And again, like earlier
trying
with the
to find some
Jazz,
answers.
We talk about like John Conchar and like what a dog he is. That's what you're getting in dudes like Kyler Yamamoto and Michael Carconi. I mean, you look at like Carconi's like 5'9", 160, I think, maybe 170. He's like an average sized dude, and he's like a professional hockey player.
Yeah.
But it's because he is, not only is he fast, but he is just, he does the dirty work. He's not afraid to get in there and dig out those scrappy goals and kind of bump around the other players, even though he's smaller, and, you know, get in front of the net and do what it takes to get the deflections and the things like that. Like Yamamoto and Carconi are dudes that did not have big markets in free agency, and they came back to the Mammoth, and they have had excellent roles with the team, and they're being rewarded for it.
Mm-hmm.
Cark's got an extension, right? So you love to see it, man, and that's some of these other players I think need to kind of take note of that and get that mentality as well.
Real quick before we head to the break, and while we're on the topic of the Mammoth, big shout out to our Mammoth insider, Cole Bagley. Tweeted earlier this morning, baby Bagley arrived.
Hey!
Healthy and well. So Cole, congratulations, man, and can't wait to have you back on the airwaves. But go be an amazing dad.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, there you
Shout out to Cole and his wife.
Absolutely.
Okay, we will take a break. We will wrap the show up next. It's the Saturday show. Stick with us. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Whirls around and down. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone is your exclusive home of the Utah Jazz. And we want to send you to the Delta Center to see the Jazz in action. Listen every Tuesday for the Jazz Ticket Tuesday Sounder. At 30 past the hour, every hour, all day long. And if you're caller number 12, you'll be on your way to an upcoming game.
Buy one, you'll get one free.
It's Jazz Ticket Tuesday. Every Tuesday throughout the NBA season. On your radio home for the Utah Jazz. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Spring is in the air, and your forever begins here. At TSH Events in the Joseph Smith Memorial Building, elegant spaces set the stage for unforgettable I-dos. Celebrate your love story where every detail feels timeless. Reserve your perfect date today at tshevents.com.
I'm here with Monty from Connecticut Quality Water Systems of Salt Lake, an authorized independent dealer. So, Monty, I wonder if you know someone like this. He's the ultimate DIY guy. Restores classic cars, builds his own deck, and even smokes his own brisket.
Sounds like a talented guy.
He is. But get this, his other weekend hobby is troubleshooting his water softener. He's always down there resetting the timer or fiddling with the circuit board.
See, Doug, that's where I draw the line. Smoking a brisket is a great weekend project.
Yeah.
Fixing an electric water softener is just a chore.
Exactly. He thinks he's saved money by buying the bargain brand, but he's paying for it with his Saturdays.
That's the Connecticut difference. Our systems are premium because they are non-electric and fully automated. No computers to fry, no timers to reset. We install it and you get back to the hobbies you actually enjoy.
If you want soft water, do what I did and leave that to Connecticut. It runs on water power, not willpower. Learn more at softwaterutah.com. That's softwaterutah.com.
The KSL Sports Zone is your home for live local sports. Tonight, the Utah Mammoth are in LA to play the Kings. The game gets underway at 7 o'clock on 1280 The Zone. Big game in the playoff race in the Western Conference. The Utah Jazz are in Phoenix playing the Suns at 8 o'clock. Listen on 97.5 The Zone. And the Salt Lake Bees are in Las Vegas. You can listen to the game at 8 o'clock on 102.7 HD2. And if you want to hear your company's name right here, email Stephanie Palmer at spalmer@ksl.com and join the winning team at the KSL Sports Zone.
Are your investments in the right accounts? What's best, traditional or Roth? Are you receiving all available tax deductions? Are you paying as little in tax as you can? These are all questions you can't afford to get wrong. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth, and in many cases, it's not what you make, but it's what you keep that makes the real difference. Trajan Wealth and Trajan Tax work closely together exclusively. No more guessing about whether you should do a Roth conversion, or if maxing out your 401k is really the best option. Our nationally recognized fiduciary advisors and CPA team work in tandem to make sure your tax strategy works with your investment strategy. We'll even do your tax preparation. One team, one strategy. Isn't it time for a second opinion? Call Trajan today. 801-210-6800. That's 801-210-6800.
Trajan Wealth, an SEC registered investment advisor. Additional services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures and accreditation at TrajanWealth.com.
Okay, I've got to tell you about something that honestly surprised me. I went down to Peach Doors and Windows to check out their showroom, and these are not your big box store doors. We're talking solid core, reinforced, high security doors that look like they belong on $1 million home. And here's what hit me. Most break-ins don't happen through windows. They happen through the front door. And a lot of doors, they're basically decorative cardboard with a handle. Peach installs doors that are built to take a beating. Heavy-duty hardware, reinforced frames, real security, but they still look absolutely stunning. Whether you're building $1 million home or you just want yours to look like one, your front door is the first impression and the first line of defense. Do yourself a favor. Go see their showroom. Feel the difference. Visit peachdoorsandwindows.com or stop by their showroom today. Upgrade the door. Upgrade the home. Simple as that.
Greater Zion has no better visual than Copper Rock Golf Course, where every swing is surrounded in breathtaking landscapes and enhanced with world-class amenities. Outdoor adventure with the greatest golf. Copper Rock. Come for the golf. Stay for the adventure.
Welcome back to the Saturday Show 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napolis. Alex, forgot to mention the Salt Lake Bees have started their season.
Yes, they did.
They started off yesterday. They did start with a loss, so that sucks. They're on the road at Las Vegas.
Pretty bad loss, too.
Pretty bad loss. But I do have good news with the Bees. They make their home debut next week.
That's right.
And in case you missed it, the Salt Lake Bees have an alter ego. They have announced that every Wednesday during the season, they shall henceforth be known as the Utah Dirty Sodas.
Henceforth.
So Sacramento's coming to Salt Lake next week. And Wednesday, April 1st, we will get our first taste. See what I did there?
Yeah, nice.
Of the Utah Dirty Sodas. And I'm not even kidding. I can't wait to see them.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Are you going to be at the ballpark?
No. I'll be listening on 1280.
That's true. That's true.
Shout out to Tony Parks.
Absolutely. Yeah, the Bees are back, man. It's always good time. It was opening week as well too for Major League Baseball, and I was watching the video of Diaz for the Dodgers. The pitcher come out, and the light show was coming on, and like all the sold out arena everybody was on their feet. They had like the live trumpet.
Wow.
Welcoming him into the mound, and it was fun. It was amazing to watch, man. And I think I'm not a big baseball guy, but I'll dip into opening weekend and watch some baseball, man. I think opening weekend's fun, and then you have then I'll tune in again once we get down towards the end of the season.
For the record, I have absolutely nothing against the beautiful ballpark at America First Square. Yeah. My wife is 39 weeks pregnant, so
yeah, you know what?
No, we will not be going to a baseball game. But I can tell you what, I really enjoyed the Utah Dirty Sodas branding, and there were some other teams that came out with some alter egos that were just straight ridiculous in the best way possible. I think that's so cool about minor league baseball. They get out and have some real fun with their marketing and stuff.
Yeah.
And, I mean, with the Bees being at Las Vegas this weekend, I've been to to the Aviators ballpark and watch a couple games down there. Like, that's a great venue to go watch some baseball. And I think minor league baseball is like, it's one of the things that's kind of sacred in sports. Like, it is a really, really cool thing that it is what it is, and everybody knows what it is, and it's goofy and it's fun, and you don't really know how long the players are going to stick around, but it's so cool, and I'm glad we have the Bees here in Salt Lake, because the Bees are great.
Absolutely, the best branding though in minor league baseball is the Rocket City Trash Pandas though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's some great ones.
It's by far my favorite.
Some amazing.
I've never seen a Trash Pandas game, but anytime I see their logo, I'm like, yes.
What is it? Trash Panda is not a real animal, right? It's just a raccoon.
Yeah, it's just a raccoon. But he's like, it's a raccoon. It's a raccoon in a trash. And it's amazing. I have it pulled up right here.
Oh, that's cool.
The Trash Pandas, man, love it.
But it's you said Rocket City because it's Houston, right?
Rocket City. No, it's actually in Madison, Alabama.
What the?
Yeah. Bet you didn't know that.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And they are affiliated with the Angels too.
My favorite Rocket
similarly
City.
to the Salt Lake Bees. So.
Well, shout out to the MILB.
There you go.
Big day on the station, right? As always. I mean, we mentioned the Utah Royals. They are currently up 2-1 in the 88th minute, right? Up over Boston. So
trying to
if
hold
you
on.
want to catch the end of that game after we go final, that's over on 1280. I guess, that'll take over both signals once we're done.
Trying to hold on to their first win of the season.
That would be huge for the Royals. NCAA tournament coming up later today. Iowa, Illinois, that's at 4:09. And then after we'll have Purdue and Arizona. But that Purdue-Arizona game will get interrupted because we've got the Jazz at Phoenix on 97.5, and then the Mammoth at LA. That'll be on 1280. And then the Bees at Las Vegas tonight will be on streaming and HD2.
There you go.
Fun night. It's that time of the year.
Always fun. Always fun, and you can always catch wall-to-wall coverage of all your favorite teams and all your favorite sports here on the KSL Sports Zone.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll catch you next Saturday. It's the Saturday Show, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Whether you're stuck in the office,
I believe you have my stapler,
in your car, or at your in-laws,
you want a piece of me? You bet I do.
The Zone is with you every step of the way. Download the KSL Sports app to get live streaming of your favorite shows and access to all the latest updates on your favorite teams. Your home for the best coverage of the Utes, Cougars, Jazz, and